Welcome to Weekday Somatics. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna start with a demonstration of something. So uh, I say I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with a demonstration, but let's get ready to receive. Of course, we're always receiving, but let's consciously receive. So let's set ourselves up so that we're not going to be distracted by completely unnecessary, fearful thoughts and worries. So let's do a couple of things, okay? Let's first find a posture that we can inhabit with confidence, without strain, where we can perceive the support so that we can really surrender the unnecessary physical effort. And as usual, I would encourage to find that balance between collapse and strain so that you can be buoyant, awake, and as much as possible, I guess buoyant kind of covers this as well, but effortless, transparent, blissful. maybe, maybe that provokes strain. It's like, oh, where's that bliss? But just trust that the bliss is here. The true bliss, the real bliss. Real bliss is here. I promise you. You don't have to go reaching for it. It's right here. It's available to you. It will reveal itself as you trust and surrender to it. So we're setting ourselves up to receive the physical support so that we're not straining and we're not enduring unnecessary fearful thoughts about, am I going to fall over? Is this too much? Am I going to break? Am I injuring myself? Whatever. All those kinds of little thoughts that can creep in. We want to just know that we are well, we are safe. There's no harm going to come to us. We're supported. So whatever that is for you in this moment, it could be lying down. It could be sitting upright on the floor. It could be sitting on a couch. It could be reclining, whatever. You find the support for you. And as we talked about in the Q&A yesterday also, this is actually an important point. I hadn't mentioned this previously, but this will be helpful. If you are lying down on the back, see that you are also providing whatever additional support you need to raise the support to where you are. So for many people, legs straight, extended, lying on the back can strangely be, and not strange to me, maybe strange to you, be somewhat strenuous. So having the knees bent can be helpful, but then there's the issue of then how do I keep the knees upright instead of collapsing? And so you can put a pillow under the knees. For many people, the neck is uncomfortable, head is uncomfortable, unless there's something under it, because most of us have a habitual head forward posture. So don't strain. You can put a pillow under the head. You can put some paperback books under the head so that you're well supported. I would encourage if you're lying on the back, paperback books, try those first. See if that does it for you. If not, then you can try the pillow. The pillow is fine. Paperback books would be slightly better. So we're receiving the physical support. Now let's also, maybe I should have done this in a different order, but okay, that's okay. We're already settled in, but let's also make sure that we feel as much as is possible that we're setting the stage, as it were, for a sense of support and safety and security in our physical environment. So whatever that means for you, maybe closing the door, putting a do not disturb sign. And then let me also add this, which is now whatever you have done now. So you've taken action, or you are taking action to set yourself up for success. So that's important. It's important that we do our part, meet God halfway. But what's the other part? Well, the other halfway is a surrender. So let us now surrender and trust that all is well, all is perfect. Whatever thoughts might argue with that, let's just be willing to surrender those, make that an offering to the divine that holds us, supports us, cares for us, that is with us right now, that is our true nature, that is never at a distance, that is unconditionally loving, and that is already answering our prayers. We are here. It's not a mistake. If you think about that for a moment, what are the chances that you would be here right now? You think it's a mistake? So you can trust in that, surrender to that which has you here, which has set everything up perfectly for you, which has perfectly, lovingly orchestrated your entire life so that this moment could be. Think about that. What a power that is. And don't tell me that that's chance. That's not chance. Look at your life. Perfectly orchestrated. Every single moment, every breath, every interaction, every relationship. Your parents, your siblings, your teachers, your neighbors, your lovers, your enemies. All of it perfectly orchestrated so that you could be here now. To open your heart and your mind and your soul to that divine grace. So know that power which has orchestrated your entire life, which is your life, which shines the stars, moves the planets, beats your heart, grows the plants blossoms, the flowers, which is the fragrance of the flowers and the recognition of that fragrance within you, that power has you here. That one power. And that one power is protecting you. So this other half, we meet God halfway, we do our part, we take the time to show up, we make the little effort to surrender our physical struggling, we make the little effort to close the door, to tell our family, I'm taking this time now so that I can uncover the darkness and be a torchbearer. Celebrate life. Soak in the richness of the totality and bring those blessings into this world. So I'm going to close the door and I'm going to take this time, this sacred time, for a sacred purpose, for my true purpose. So we make these minimal efforts and then we surrender the rest. So whatever happens, if the dog is barking, if the phone rings, if somebody knocks at the door, we surrender, we trust that this is perfect. This is exactly what needs to happen to fulfill our heart desire, to fulfill our true desire so that we can recognize that fulfillment everywhere, always, and shine that light of recognition in this world. We can't shine that light of recognition if we don't recognize. Then it's a false light. It's a false light. And we all know that false humility, false kindness, false charity, false love. We know the falseness. Let's tell the truth. Let's shine the light in the darkness so that the false is revealed and that the truth can be seen. Okay, so now for a demonstration. So if your eyes are closed, you can actually just imagine this. You don't even need to watch the demonstration, but if your eyes are open or you would like to open the eyes, I'm going to do a little demonstration. So this, what I'm holding, and you can just imagine it if you're not having your eyes open, is a piece of charcoal from my wood stove. It's black. Now, if I don't set myself on fire, There's light in there. There's light in there. This is the process that we're exploring. So let's begin to explore this within ourselves, and I'll describe it. If it's comfortable for you, then please close the eyes. There is darkness within us. In the darkness is light, like that piece of charcoal. But it's so dense. That darkness is so dense that we don't perceive the light. So look to your experience and see the truth of this. See that there is darkness. Now, I know something about each of you. And I know this because you're here. And I can know that there is no mistake about you being here. I know that you are attracted to this because there's a recognition. So please understand that what I'm saying, what I say when I speak, is not coming from Joey. It's coming through Joey. It's the voice of that one power, that intelligence that is operating in you. It knows you. If there's a voice inside your head that says, there's no darkness in me, or I can overcome the darkness by focusing on the light, please don't deceive yourself. There is darkness in you. You won't overcome the darkness by lying about it. You won't overcome the darkness by ignoring it. You won't overcome the darkness by running from it. You won't ignore the darkness by calling it light. You won't overcome the darkness by thinking about it. You won't overcome the darkness by brooding. You won't overcome the darkness by any of the strategies that you've utilized, any of the strategies that you contemplate, any of the strategies you find on Facebook. Because to discover how to overcome that darkness, you must go into the darkness. And that is why you are here. That's why you're attracted to this. Because somehow you recognize the truth of that. Now, this darkness is the last place you've wanted to go. I know that that's true. But it's followed you everywhere you've gone, everything you've done, no matter how high you've gotten. Always this darkness remains. And you're afraid of it. This knowledge that was expressed in that demonstration is a very, very, very important knowledge. It will, if you receive this knowledge, it seems so simple and trivial on the surface, but if you receive the profundity of it, it will change your life, I promise you. In that darkness is light. But we can't access that light on our own. When we approach it on our own, just as I was holding that piece of charcoal, all it is darkness. It's only darkness. No matter what I do, it's only darkness. But then what happens? There's a catalyst, a spark that comes from a pre-existing light, a light outside of my own idea of myself. But that can't do it on its own either. So we have to recognize that in our own experience. When I try my usual strategies, it's just darkness, only darkness. I get lost. Then I pray, please transform this darkness into light. Please remove this darkness. Please remove this burden. Please reveal the truth to me. And that spark comes and it ignites. It reveals the inner reality, the truth of that darkness as light with a tiny spark, a tiny beginning, transforming and releasing. But if I ignore it, if I again turn away, what happens? It becomes darkness again. Again, inert. Again, I can't do anything with it. So I'm back to my own old ways. So what's necessary is this meeting, union. That's the meaning of yoga. Yoga is union, yoking. There's something in us that doesn't like that idea. We think it should be easier. I shouldn't have to do anything. But we can just tell the truth. Our strategies have completely failed. Our strategies are useless, worse than useless. The darkness grows with our strategies. The darkness accumulates. The light within us condenses and grows dark. Over time, we become darker and darker and darker, as long as we rely on our strategies. So let us meet God halfway. Let us be willing to truly know the meaning of yoga directly, not because we heard it or thought about it or read it in a book or saw something on Facebook about it, but let us discover it directly within ourselves, presently, and then let it blossom. So back to the demonstration, what is necessary? A spark, a tiny ember, a tiny demonstration of the transformation of darkness, the revelation of the light within, the revelation of the power within, the intelligence within, the power within. It's a power. It's a very, very, very powerful force, a very powerful energy. Fire is extremely powerful. Think about it. Contemplate that. It doesn't care. It's indiscriminate. Whatever, whatever, it will take it. As long as the fire is hot enough, it will take it. Everything can burn. Everything, everything. As long as the fire is hot enough, everything can burn. So how can we, if we are serious about transformation, and we are, I know we are, every one of us is, I know that that's true for everybody here, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Then the question is, how do we grow that fire? How do we transform darkness into light? How do we reveal and release that magnificent power within the darkness? So again, back to the demonstration, we meet God halfway. The spark comes from this eternal fire, from the eternal presence. And then we have to do our part. We have to attend, you see. So on the charcoal, started as a tiny little ember, a spark from this external fire. And then I have to meet it halfway by offering my entire spirit. Spirit, inspiration, inspire, breath. I have to offer that spirit, the entirety of my being. Think about that. Without the breath, there is no life. Your life is synonymous with the breath. At subtler levels, that's not entirely true, but in the physical realm. So offer that, offer the breath, offer the body, offer everything. And as the ember grows, soon there's a patch of light right in the darkness. Then we continue to surrender. At first, the fire isn't hot enough to burn everything. If you have a little campfire, you can burn sticks. You can burn popcorn. I know that. Anybody who's tried to make popcorn on a campfire knows you can burn popcorn, but you can't burn the aluminum can. People try, but it doesn't work because the fire's not hot enough. We need a hotter fire. How do we get a hotter fire? Offer more. Offer everything that will burn. Soon the fire grows hotter, brighter, bigger. Now we can feel that power. We can start to feel its immensity. We might start to get a little scared because we start to realize, oh, this fire really will take it all. This fire really will transform everything. This fire really is the truth of the darkness. Now we have a choice. What are we going to do? Because at this point, the fire is bigger, brighter, hotter, but we haven't yet fully merged with the universal fire. So we still have free will. If we choose to turn away now, if we choose to ignore the darkness, if we choose to do anything other than continue to offer to this fire. Attend to the darkness and sacrifice everything into its essential nature. Surrender completely. Then even if that fire has grown very, very, very large and very hot, and I'm telling you this from experience, I know this to be true, the darkness will come back. The light will again condense, become cold and dark, inert. We won't be able to access it. It will become impenetrable to us. We will struggle with shame, blame, guilt, anger, frustration, disappointment, discouragement, rage. If you didn't recognize yourself in that list, you add your own, whatever it is, to the list. Despondency, depression. I'm telling you, I mean it from my experience. I'm telling you the truth. So let's not rest on our laurels. Let's actually be serious about what it is that we want. And then let's be willing to know the truth of yoga. Let's not deny the darkness. The darkness is there. The darkness is real. We just are not recognizing its essential nature until we are willing to surrender fully to this process. So this spark is always available to us. That's the good news. No matter how far we fall from grace, no matter how much we shut down, no matter how much we indulge anger, fear, anxiety, resentment, jealousy, blame, depression. This spark is always available, and all of us here know where that spark is. But in case that's not clear, that spark is here at the heart of being. It is the perfect stillness, that pure potential, undifferentiated stillness, yet it's a paradox because it's perfectly still, yet it's practically bubbling with intensity of potential. This is bliss. And this is where the spark comes from. All of us know how to access that. If you're not sure that you know how to access that, then we can explore that together. If not today, then another time. But I believe, at least for everybody who's here live, you know how to access that. But then see what you do. I know you do it because I see it in myself. And again, that's why I know that's why you're here. So look and see, you can touch upon this pristine perfection, bliss, joy, openness, purity, clarity, timelessness. And then there's a big gap. And then there's darkness, density, irritation, frustration, anger. So we're clarifying the gap. This is what yoga is. To meet God halfway. We go we surrender to that pure consciousness, and then we, like Prometheus, we take that spark and we bring it into the density and darkness of our manifest lives. But let us not stop there. Let us continue to be present, attentive, surrendered, sacrificing everything, every thought, every sensation, every memory, every image, every projection. And if that seems like a lot, well, it is, but that's why you're here. That's the purpose of your life. You know that. I'm not, you know that's the purpose of your life. There's a big yes in you. There's a no also, but that no is, you know the no is false. The yes is true. Yes, that is the purpose of my life. To be surrendered to that truth that knows no opposite, that can be found even in the densest darkness. But we have to have the courage to do our part to show up, to keep being attentive. So notice every sensation. Notice every compulsion. Notice every thought. Notice every arising impulse of every kind, every memory. Start to notice that in this apparent gap, as we actually are attentive, we start to recognize that it's full. It's not a gap at all. It's full. We're witness to it from this subtlest experience of pure, undifferentiated energy, pure light, pure potential through layers of gradations of density, all the way into the very densest darkness, what seems to be opposite to that light. We're observing in our direct experience. This is so important because this is how we bring the light into the darkness. We don't lie to ourselves and say all is well, there is no darkness. That's what's happening in the world, isn't it? There's no darkness, they say. All is well. Everything's getting better and better. But meanwhile, now we're seeing it's all coming apart at the seams. The lies are all exposed. Not all yet, but there's more to come. Most people just aren't ready for that yet. That level of darkness, to really acknowledge the density and the depths of that darkness. Not yet willing, but you and I are willing. That's why we are here. It's an important thing, not just for ourselves, but for all beings. We are offering ourselves in service to that, in service to that true desire, peace, liberation, unconditional love. So we bring this spark and then we continue to feed it. We feed it with all of our being, with every, everything, the darkest, densest, most vile, disgusting parts of our experience, as well as those parts of our experience that we celebrate and love and enjoy. Sacrifice all of it. So see where it is that you hide out, what you're unwilling to sacrifice because you cling to it saying, no, not this. I'm not willing to sacrifice this because it's too vile, too disgusting, too shameful, too horrible, too much, too evil, too dark, too painful. You know what it is. You've done it. You were there. You took a sick kind of satisfaction from some kind of evil, some kind of horror, hardship. You have a sort of perverted fascination with something that you don't feel really good about. The sick fantasies that come to you about how you're going to do things to get even, to show other people, to get your way, to whatever. You think God can't receive those? The power that has created everything, that has organized your life every single second. Think it doesn't already know? Sacrifice them. Be willing. Say yes, this too. Bring that spark into all things, not because you have a preconceived notion about what the transformation should look like, but because you're finally willing to meet God halfway, to do your part. That's why you're here. God can't reach into that darkness without you. Isn't that amazing? That one power which has created everything, truly omnipotent, and yet paradoxically can't reach into the darkness without you. Well, I'll let you puzzle over why that is. Here's a clue. You're not separate. It's your birthright and it's your blessed responsibility. It's a gift. It doesn't seem like it. But I promise you, everything that you hold on to, that you say, I can't, it's not acceptable, I have to polish this turd until it shines before I can turn it over to God. Let's finally be willing to tell the truth. It was only our idea that said that it was bad or wrong. The light is here. Sacrifice everything. Watch the fire grow. Feel it grow. Feel that power within yourself. That power That light is in you, in the darkness. You want to know why you're fatigued? That's why. All of that energy, the infinite power of the universe in you, but bound up in darkness, where you aren't willing to look. You're not willing to sacrifice. So if you want abundant energy, this is the way. If you want abundant clarity, this is the way. If you want abundant flow, this is the way. If you want abundant love, this is the way. Let every breath be an offering to this fire within you. And your intention is enough, I promise you. If you just remain true to that intention, it doesn't matter what you think about your experience. If you say, well, I'm not feeling it, or I'm not able to see it, or I'm not sure I'm doing it right, I promise you, your intention, your willingness is enough. I can promise you that because I know it from experience. I am not a skilled visualizer. I don't see anything. I'm not skilled at feeling, sensing, perceiving the lights and colors and shapes and energies. I'm I'm not skilled at those things. That's why I can tell you, I can give you my word, because I know and live this. It doesn't matter. Your intention is enough. I promise you. Just stay true to the intention. You will see that it blossoms. Just be willing to sacrifice everything. Be willing to be attentive. Don't flinch. Don't turn away from the darkness. Trust and know that this one power, this one intelligence that is operating everything always is alive in you. And it is responsive to your intention. If you intend to see the light in the darkness, to sacrifice everything, that intention is enough. Just remain true to it. You will discover the truth of what I am pointing to, and it will grow and grow and grow and grow. And eventually it will be completely undeniable. You might not think so from where you are presently, but I promise you that is true, because I'm living it. If the most if a person is hardened and cynical and materialistic and dark as me can know this truth, then I know you can, for sure. Just remain true to this. See that this process is very simple. We start from superficial, external, we move to the inner depths, stillness, and then we move again into the darkness. We traverse that over and 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 over. And soon, all is clear, all is pleasing, all is light, all is love, all is joy, because that's its true nature. But we can't convince ourselves of that until we experience it. And we can't experience it until we're willing to take action, until we're willing to truly commit, make it a commitment, a marriage, a marriage that's transcendent of a lifetime. You can have this marriage and your marriage to your spouse in this life. You can start to discover that that marriage is the same marriage. You can, how about that? How about sacrificing all of the darkness that you hold around your human relationships so that you can start to see that that divine marriage is expressing in your human relationships. You can start to see the divine in their faces and in their actions and hear it in their words. It's possible, I promise you. Whatever you desire, this is the way, because what is the obstacle to the manifestation of your desire is only what you falsely cling to as truth of darkness, as primacy of darkness, unwilling to go beyond your superficial understanding of it, clinging to your separate sense of yourself that you're going to handle it. It's the only thing that stands in the way. Be willing to sacrifice all of it. And whatever it is that you truly desire, I promise you, it will reveal itself. You want clarity of thought? This will reveal it. You want joyful sensation? This will reveal it. You want ease in the body? This will reveal it. You want digestive power? This will reveal it. Sacrifice whatever you think is not that. Offer it to this fire. Give thanks. Surrender. And keep traversing the path over and over and over, from the gross level to the subtlest levels, and then back to the gross level, and then to the subtlest levels, and then to the gross levels. Filling in the gap over and over, getting clearer and clearer on everything that has seemingly been in the way, that out of habit over a lifetime or lifetimes you've ignored. Sacrifice it all to this divine fire. So we're going to begin to consciously transition from this inquiry, this formal inquiry. And as we do, I want to suggest that this transition, and I say this often, but I really want to emphasize it today, how important it is, how powerful it is, because this is an opportunity to fill in the gap in a very important way, so that you don't have to fear it. We have to fear the darkness when we believe that the darkness hides something from us. But when we are willing to be present, then what we discover is the truth of the light in the darkness, and all of the darkness is released. So we do that by being present. We are present by sacrificing. We sacrifice the thoughts. What do I mean? I mean, see that you are offering these thoughts to that growing ember, or to the flames, or to the blazing fire, whatever your perception of it is. Just be willing to offer them, knowing, once it's offered, it's gone. Don't try to grasp it. If it seems to come back, know that it's not the same. It's something different that you think is the same. Offer that too. Keep offering it. Keep surrendering it. Keep surrendering it, and you are purified. You discover your true nature more and more clearly. Don't fool yourself. Don't deceive yourself into thinking, oh no, this is a different thing. This thing I need to cling to. This thing I need to figure out on my own. Tell the truth, that didn't work. Sacrifice it. Trust in this power. This is the power that is functioning everywhere, always. That is the intelligence and the order and the presence. This one power that is the power animating the entire universe and beyond. Trust that it can handle your thoughts, your feelings, your memories. Just offer them. So as we're transitioning to our open-eyed, waking state, make this very conscious so that you can be aware of this layer of experience, so that you can begin to traverse all these layers of consciousness with confidence, so that you don't have to fear, because you have a pathway of light. So it's like starts out as like a tunnel that has torches in it. It's lit. You can see. Keep traversing it. Soon that tunnel from pure consciousness into the gross level of manifestation, into your so-called experiences of anger, frustration, disappointment, discouragement, resentment, pain, etc. Soon, as you keep going consciously along this pathway, this tunnel starts to glow of its own. Soon that tunnel begins to expand. The edges, the rough edges, the hard edges of the tunnel start to dissolve into light. Your way is brighter, each step more confident, more aware of the effortlessness, the transparency, the bliss, the support, the presence, so that you no longer have to fear. Just keep doing this over and over and over and over, and soon your life is totally new, totally new. So take your time with this transition. And just be aware, whatever happens, just observe it and sacrifice it. Notice the thoughts that occur. Be aware of the thoughts that occur that immediately precede negative states. So we touch upon this bliss of pure awareness, and then as we come back into the denser states of experience, we notice in these negative states, habitual negative states, the depression, despondency, discouragement, frustration, anger. Be aware of what the constellations are. There's a sensation, there's a thought, there's a memory that, if you're observant, you'll see immediately precedes this despondent state or the depressed state or the angry state. When we overlook it, we're trying to sidestep it. But then it grows. It's darkness that grows. It takes more and more light comes to it and condenses. So let's remain present to it, observe it, see what it is. It's just, you see, oh yeah, I'm experiencing what I call anger or frustration. Let me look. Oh yeah, there's a constellation. There's a thought there. There's a thought that says, this wasn't good enough. It didn't solve my problems. I'm not good enough. I'm wasting my time. Whatever. Just notice the thought. Then maybe you notice the memories, the images, right? You just lightly, just gently be aware of that. See, oh yeah. So now what is this state that I call anger or frustration or resentment or whatever? What is that actually? Really take a look. You'll see this is bringing the light of awareness to your experience. It's so powerful. When you start to see, then you sacrifice it all. Just be willing to surrender it. What would my life be like if I didn't have that thought? Let me find out for 1 second. For 1 second, let me be without that thought. How do I do that? Let me sacrifice it. I'm not trying to get rid of it. I'm not trying to push it away. I'm not fighting with it. I'm just willing to finally surrender it to that power that runs the universe. I'm willing to stop clinging to it and saying, I'm going to do it. Let me just be willing to surrender it for a moment. And in the clarity of this surrender, let me find out what this new possibility is. What would my life be like without that thought? For this one instant. Well, isn't that amazing? If I don't cling to that thought as true, well, then I don't know what this experience is. If I don't cling to that image as true or that memory as true, I don't know what this experience is. But I am aware of this light, of this presence, this intelligence, this awareness, and this desire for unconditional love, peace, at all levels, the physical body, relationships, finances. If there's some thought that says, oh, it's not important. No, it's very important. Very, very, very important. All of the desires for health, well-being, happiness, harmony, all the the essences of the so-called worldly desires. Let's not deny them. Let's see the truth of them. Let's accept them and let's manifest them in our lives. It is okay to have a healthy body. It is okay to have a healthy mind. It is okay to have healthy relationships. It's okay to experience and express abundance in all ways. Abundant love, abundant financial freedom, all of that. So we can just bring this light of awareness, sacrifice all that comes up, the objections, the conditioning, just sacrifice it and discover, what is my life like without all of that? For this one instant, discover that. And now a new pathway is opening, expanding. The light grows, clarity is growing. There's greater ease. Bit by bit, we start to be able to imagine ourselves expressing a better life, expressing that true heart desire. As we get clear by sacrificing, then you'll see that true heart desire starts to manifest through the faculty of imagination. See, just bit by bit. As I first you say, I I'm in pain all the time. I don't see how, and I've got all the reasons. Here's all the reasons why I'm going to be in pain forever. I can't imagine that not being true. Great. So keep traversing the pathway. Be clear, be present to the objections, all of the constellations as they surface, and then be willing to sacrifice. And what happens is you'll see just a little bit that light shines, and it shines through imagination, and there's this little glimmer of, oh, it could be a little better. I could see how it could actually be a little better. I could see how those thoughts aren't actually true. The thoughts that I believed were absolutely true, the memories that I think are absolutely true, I can see how it's not actually absolutely true. There's a little opening. That is a miracle. Keep doing it over and over and over and over and over. It gets clearer. All the clutter gets cleared away. I promise you, if you remain true to that, if you stay focused and committed to that, everything in your life, everything, 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 everything will blossom, will be beautiful, will be pleasing to you, will be an expression of that truth. Wherever you are right now on your journey, if you have a cynical voice or you don't have a cynical voice, if you have a lot of pain or you don't have a lot of pain, I promise you, you stay true to this, everything will get better. Thanks for joining today. And for those who are here live, we're not going to do a Q&A today. My wife has an appointment and I'm going to be with the kids. So thank you for joining, and I will see you tomorrow.